All right, today we're going to unpack a Hollywood story that's been decades in the making. We're talking about Tom Cruise. You know, one of the biggest movie stars on the entire planet, and how he finally got an Oscar. But believe me, the story of how it happened is just as exciting as one of his movies.
So, here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll look at this big puzzle surrounding his career. Then, we'll get into the special honor he received and exactly why they gave it to him. After that, we'll hear about his own deep love for making movies, and we'll wrap it all up with a really powerful idea about what cinema can do for all of us.
Okay, let's dive right into part one, the Oscar puzzle. You see, for years and years, even though Tom Cruise is one of the most famous and successful actors ever, there was this one thing missing from his collection of awards.
To understand this, let's just start with a number. 4. In a career filled with massive hits like Mission Impossible and Top Gun, what could the number 4 possibly mean?
Well, 4 is the number of times Tom Cruise was nominated for an Academy Award, and you've got to understand, an Oscar nomination is a huge deal. It's the industry saying your work was one of the absolute best performances of the year.
And here's the twist, the heart of the puzzle. After 4 of these major nominations, the number of actual Oscars he'd won was 0, a big goose egg. For an actor of his status, this was something people in the movie business talked about for a long time.
So how do you solve a puzzle like that? Well, the Academy, the group that gives out the Oscars, came up with a solution nobody was really expecting. So let's get into part 2, a special honor.
And the solution was this, a special honorary Oscar. Now, this is totally different from the usual awards, which are for a single performance in one movie. An honorary Oscar is much bigger. It's for a whole lifetime of work and your impact on the movies.
The award was presented by the president of the Academy, Janet Yang, and in her speech, she really laid out the reasons why Tom Cruise, after all these years, was getting this incredible honor right now.
And that brings us right to our next section, the reasons why. The most important thing to get here is that this award wasn't about a single movie. It was about his entire career and everything he's given to the film industry.
Janet Yang said his incredible commitment has inspired us all. That word right there, commitment, that's really the key. It speaks to this unstoppable passion and dedication he's shown for decades.
So it really came down to 3 main things. First, just his unbelievable commitment to the art of making movies. Second, his fight to keep the movie theater experience alive, getting people to actually go see movies on the big screen. And third, well, the thing he's probably most famous for, doing his own completely insane and dangerous stunts.
Okay, so those were the Academy's reasons. But what about from Tom Cruise himself? In his acceptance speech, he gave us a really personal look at what drives him. This is what we're calling a lifelong love.
He said something so powerful. Making films is not what I do, it is who I am. Wow. I mean, that tells you everything, right? For him, this isn't just a job he clocks in and out of. It is part of his very identity.
And he traced this passion all the way back to a single memory from when he was a boy. He described being just a little kid in a darkened theater and being completely captivated by that beam of light coming from the projector.
And listen to how that moment changed him. He said, "Suddenly, the world was so much larger than the one that I knew." Just think about that. For him, movies literally opened up the universe and showed him what was possible.
And this leads us to the final and maybe most important idea, the power of cinema. Because for Tom Cruise, this isn't just about his own experience. It's about what movies can do for all of us together.
He made this beautiful point that it doesn't matter who you are or where you're from. When you're sitting in a movie theater, you connect with everyone around you. As he put it, we laugh together, we feel together, we hope together. It's this amazing shared experience that brings people closer. So, that leaves us with a final thought, a question for you. Think about it for a second. What movie did you see that made you feel like you were part of something bigger? What film made you feel like the world was suddenly so much larger than you knew? That's the magic he was talking about. Thanks so much for tuning in.